Hi. Okay, this is going to be a tough journal. I don't know how to structure it, but I think as I move forward in my life and become the man that I want to be, a big part of that is being accountable and taking responsibility for the mistakes of my past, and as well as that, forgiving myself. I think one thing I'm noticing as I meet new people now is two things. One is that I don't feel a certain sense of being genuine with the people that I meet, because I'm like, you don't know this part of me that I used to be. I mean, they come across who I am today, and it's such a vastly different individual than that frat guy who only thought about, woman and pleasure, and that individual who was, I would say, significantly more self-centered, is no longer the person I think at least people interact with today. And that could be wrong. But, when people ask you like, oh, like update me on your life, if let's say they met me in middle school or something, I think for me, as opposed to explaining it through events, I'd explain it through people. And so we talked about this before, but if I had to list in order, it would have to be Sanjeev in 6th grade. And then this woman that I'm going to be talking about in undergrad, my first 2 years, Dan, Ummer, then Mylan, then Ellis, then Arden, and then Deep in there as well. Deep, Mylan, Deep, Arden, Deep, Ellis, Arden, and then now Srujana. And I would say like this is a list of people who have fundamentally shaped my life, and I would not be the individual I am today without any one of these individuals. And so I guess this doesn't really feel like an apology. I mean, this doesn't really feel like the normal video journal, because typically I'm like tuning the world out and I'm like, okay, I just want to get out what's on my mind. But I think this is the first time that this is what I want to say is pretty much what I've been wanting to express to this individual for a really long time, but just no longer have the ability to, because to be frank, she doesn't want to hear it. And so I have felt recently, and I want to finally say this out loud because I feel like it's something I've been trying to, use different words about, intellectualize it. But if we had to define this concept of moving on, which to me, I think the common concept of like, oh, if I saw them with someone else, I wouldn't care, is a too simple and a quite childish, I think, definition of moving on. But in the way that I said that those 7 or 8 people have fundamentally shaped who I am today, to varying degrees, they all, like, I love them dearly because they are also me. I am not myself without any of those people. And so I have not moved on, and I still hold a lot of love for this woman. What does that mean? Like, in the best way I possibly can say, there's not many people, there are, but I care. I genuinely care, and really want the best for these people and this individual in particular. And I guess what I feel like I need to say is that like I don't know what sorry does. I don't know what the value of a sorry is. But if I can say like I genuinely regret treating somebody who actually cared about me and who actually helped me develop myself into somebody who I was proud to look at in the mirror as poorly as I did, that causes me a certain sense of like disgust at who I used to be. And perhaps even this concept of me keep saying used to be is simply this another intellectual way to kind of evade the fact that is still who I am today. to kind of point this finger at this other person as opposed to taking full responsibility that that is me. And like when I meet new people, I want to be able to confidently look at the person that I was, the person that I am, and confidently express that to another human being. I feel like for the longest time since, things ended in 2018, 19, just 2023 now, this person is a very just I think the reason it's hard is because like if I had to summarize the ways that she actually impacted my life, one of the biggest is that I feel like she connected me to a certain level of like being alive that I have not. Mylan has connected me to a different element of that, but she connected me to like a love of dance, a love of art, a love of passion and interest, and like looking at the world with awe and being interested in the things that you do and see and read and having a love and passion for that. That's not something that everyone just walks around with. She taught me a sense of like perseverance, of like there's real shit that happens in this world. Not everyone's life is about, oh my god, did I get into a good college? Oh my god, like my white t-shirt is dirty. Like people really be like go through very difficult struggles on this planet, and her ability to still smile through that was always like, damn. And I think at that point, and to this, like, there wasn't a sense of respect, and I think that's like what was fundamentally missing, of that this is another human being. And I think it was there at times. Like one thing I can at least tell to myself confidently is I think where a lot of the pain came from is that the path that I was going in, and when she had kicked me into a new path, that like growing pain of transition from one to the other, and she unfortunately got stuck in that. But it just, all of these things do not cover up the fact that there was genuinely just a lack of respect for this person. But I really, really did, at that point, to the best of my knowledge, care and respect this person. Like, I mean, I was listening to that podcast yesterday about that North Korean defector, and she was saying some really profound things about how, for her, she had to learn what compassion was after she had left the country. And it was just this concept of like, I did not, like, a love was not a concept to me. It was just something you did. It was theoretical. I'd never felt that until like she came into my life, and I was like, what the heck is this feeling? And then it's like super, imagine like a ball that's just super dusty and rusty, and you're like washing it off to see what it is. And in that process, like, this woman didn't trust me. Like, to me, that's a fundamental error on my actions. Like, to this day, something that matters so much to me is anybody I interact with, like, they need to trust me, that I have their best intentions in mind, that I care about them. If that's in question, I'm not doing something right. And so my inability to have acted in such a way where this person could actually trust me makes me feel, some sense of, why was I acting like that? So what I guess I want to say is like, this is where this comes from, is like a genuine understanding that I've made a few terrible mistakes, especially pertaining to that relationship. And I'm questioning how I accept that and then take responsibility. Like, what does it mean to take responsibility for it? How can I take responsibility? What do I do to take full responsibility for those things? And to me, that's what drives me. In my belief, that's what drives me to do as much as I can on this planet and with my life, as some cry or some possibility that I will amend the mistakes that I've made when I was growing up. Like, if I do enough from here on out, it will make up for the mistakes I made. But maybe that's not even true. Maybe it will never. Maybe there's no point at all of that. But I don't want that fear of accepting my truth from influencing many things in my life, influencing my beliefs, influencing my passions, and I want to fully confront it and move on past it. What that means is to not let it impact my decisions on a daily basis. And so I think I'm now in a place to love again, to move on with my life. And I feel like all this creation in the last few months has put a lot of those feelings onto, I've created something with it, a lot of that angst. And so I feel like I'm on this precipice of being ready to finally move on with my life. And what that means is accepting my past. And so I wanted to make something like this to actually address this individual, put it in the universe at least. That at the very least, like, I just hope you know, like, how genuinely terribly sorry I am. Like, you truly are a human being that I think has sparked a lot of passion in the people that I have seen you around a very long time ago. So we both are in two different places in our lives, so I cannot speak, know nothing about you anymore. But man, when I say that, man, she used to be saying some woke stuff all the time. Like, even that concept right there of, like, we're no longer the same. I remember there was this one time I hung out after, a couple months of not talking, and she had said something like, I'm talking to you like a new person because I no longer know who you are. And in my head, I was like, no, I'm the same person. But from these video journals, even, like, I've said this countless times, like, nowadays in my life, every week to week, I feel like I'm a new person every day to day. And so, like, her ability at that point to have, like, given me the space to be like, I'm not going to talk, I'm not going to bring the grudges, I'm not going to bring the issues that we had in the past to this new version because this is a new you, was just way ahead of where I was. And she would say things like that all the time, like her ability to empathize with people who, I completely changed my understanding of what it meant to be smart, what it meant to be successful. All of these things, just my entire worldview had crumbled because I realized they were all just built on, like, really weak foundations, and each one were kicked down. And that's why I really liked this person. I just felt like the way she thought about the world was cool. I mean, more than cool, just it was a much more relaxing, stress-free, happy, kind, caring, compassionate way of living life that I was not living at all. And so what I do, so, like, what can a sorry do? Nothing. I mean, the pain it caused is the pain caused. But I guess, like, if there was something I could do, I would love to do it. But seeing that there isn't, I feel like I am now ready for the next phase of my life to accept that there is no retribution, there's no second half of the arc, there's no comeback story of that narrative. That story is done. And to me, I think I've held on to that for a long time, that maybe one day Maybe one day I will be able to apologize. Maybe one day we'll be able to have that conversation. But that's not happening. And I don't deserve it. I don't, I think that's another thing as well. Like, what makes me think I deserve that closure? Which, she said earlier, but I think that's fair. All I can do, I think, now is I can try to be the best person I can. And this person will always be on my mind. I mean, in some way or another. I mean, I don't think it's like someone you care deeply about dies. I mean, I think it's very synonymous to that in some way where, like, this person will always be on my mind in the sense of, like, everything I do. Sanjeev, Mylan, Arden, all these people, they are me in many ways. And so as I move through the world, this person is a part of me as well. And so I will do the very best to make sure that's not in vain. But yeah, thanks for existing and choosing me to, honestly, hit me with a little sprinkle of enlightenment when you did. I was not ready at that time to take it or accept it. Really appreciate that. But wherever you are, I really hope you are just, finding what it is that you're looking for and just killing it out there with whatever it is that you want. Slash, yeah, yeah. Just wanted to get that out. Something I was sitting on. I'm about to record a great episode today. I'm excited. I'm going to New Orleans for that conference in a couple days. I have a few cool projects coming up. So I'm excited for that. Yeah. This was a lot. But let me end on some Drake. You still elevate. 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 Oh.